Hi, good morning. I'm Andrew Lowsutea, president. I hope everything's okay with you guys. Can hear me? I have some little bit technical issue here, but I think we'll set it up and now we're all in live in Facebook. And today we have a really important uh seminar, which a lot of people don't realize. A lot of time that you might thought that, well, headache is headache. But I found that quite a few people do not understand what type of headache is, especially when a hypertension headache, which is can be, if you don't know what to look at, it can be a very serious issue because it might be a issues of you are actually getting a strokes if you don't take care of it soon enough. That is not a joke because I have several customer actually had the similar experience because at least he identified that was a hypertension crisis, meaning that even the headache is very painful, throbbing, and so forth, and both had. And so at the end of the day, it went to the hospital and they found out that the pressure was so high where it can potentially get to issue of a stroke, meaning your vessels in the brain bust. Now that is not a light thing to do because what happened is the vessels actually busted and start bleeding. You cannot use like a typical. You get a cut. I can press a button and then I could able to hold the blood and say stop the bleeding. It doesn't work. The head bleeding. The sad part is your skull is a structure which is or basically a hard structure. So any bleeding, there's nowhere to go. And the head, your skull doesn't expand like you hurt something at somewhere in a body, you injured, it's a swell up. There's a lot more room to swell. But in the head, there's nowhere to swell. So if your vessels are busted, you are in big trouble. So that's why you really want to prevent stroke. And in the golden, there's a time. If you have any kind of stroke, you got to go to the hospital within 1 hour. You got to be there because if not, you have going to have a serious issue. If you don't get treated, it continue to bleed. All that could be happen, or blockage will continue being blocked, and the brain cells are damaged. That is all kind of issue that can occur, and that will be severe, serious issue. So today webinar will help you to understand. Well, if I have a headache, what kind of headache is really make sure that I am actually gotta go to hospital right away. So today that's a very good. I would say a good webinar for all of us. So let's start. Okay. Let's see. I think I get everything done here. Let's move to here. Okay. Good. Okay, we got this done correctly. All right, good. I think we got it done. Good, thank you. Hey, by the way, thanks for all the very nice people continue working with us. I would like to get an idea. Edwina, can you give me a one if you can hear me? Because I think that would be nice to just confirm. I know people, Facebook people can hear me. Can you give me a a heart or whatever that to give me to recognize that give me a heart or a like so I know you can hear me and see me correctly. Okay, good. Now today we will talk about exploring the relationship between headache and hypertension, and why again I was the elaborate is very important. You got to know how to basically identify what is the more important headaches. I think that's is the important that you have to do. Now, so we're going to start our webinar and we'll go from here from now on. So first of all, we'll introduce, what is the, hypertension headache, how to relate it, and what is the connection between the high blood pressure and the headaches, and then what are common symptoms you will know, which you need to identify, and when you can get medical attention, that is become important. And also another thing too is what's the practical tips to help you to manage this hypertension and related headache? And how do you prevent it actually, like lifestyle? How do you lower your hypertension? Because hypertension, sometimes the early stage you have no sign symptom. As you time go on, can be a real issue. And how those shoes can help you, especially diabetic patient. Now, a lot of people don't realize majority of diabetic patients gotta have high blood pressure because you know why? Remember, what I talk about, I will talk about a little while later, because the cholesterol and the sugar become very thick, and then you form plaques everywhere. So hypertension usually always there. So you got to be very careful. So that's what we're talking about. Okay, so let's start. Then today I know a lot of people that I saw in our chat group. I saw a lot of people I don't know. They can come from quite a few places. I think I saw them from United States, from Canada, from Asia Pacific. So let me just do a couple minutes to catch up. What is 4-stage diabetes? And everybody go through that. Okay. Now, first of all, just bear with me. Your first stage is your LDL cholesterol will start going up. So when LDL cholesterol goes up, you start damaging the B cells coming out from the pancreas. The B cells will take sugar to the cells, right? So when B cells being damaged, more B cells come up, sugar doesn't go into the cells, so more sugar is going to circulate in the blood vessels. Cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, and the blood sugar add together, the blood become thick, and your problem is going to start forming. You very quickly move to stage 2 because what happened is the plaques is going to form throughout the body, and it got blocks everywhere, entire body. Now, early stage, you have no symptoms, but a few years later, you're going to have all kind of complications. And diabetic is really, the issue is they get plaques everywhere and plugs everywhere. So it damages your brain, your heart, your kidney, your eyes, everywhere. So this is the major problem. But meantime, the early stage, your blood pressure usually go up over 130 and up, continue to go up. So your second stage is that. Now, if you don't do anything because you have no symptom, it looks about the same. So feel about the same, and you have no pain, nothing. So you very quickly start moving to stage 3, which is your pre-diabetic stage, whereby all doctors will measure the same thing, meaning they'll measure your HbA1c, hemoglobin, how many percent of sugar attached to the hemoglobin. If you have 5.7%, you're a normal person. If you're 5.7 to 6.4%, you are pre-diabetic. Now, the sad part of pre-diabetic have no medication. The doctor say, hey, you are pre-diabetic. You have to be really, start taking precaution. You got to take off your sweets. You have to change your lifestyle, exercise. However, majority customer will not answer that. They don't basically say, hey, I'm everything okay. I just live the same lifestyle. If you 3 to 4 years or 2 to 3 years don't do anything, most likely you will convert to be a diabetic. Once you move with 6.4 of A1C, you are now become diabetic. Now, once you get that, everything goes up. Insurance goes up. Your records state that you are pre-diabetic, so it's not good for you. Plus, since you don't do anything, you didn't change lifestyle, your blood sugar will continue to go up. The best thing is in your pre-diabetic stage, we have Lowsutea. We can help you to lower your blood sugar, let them stay back the same, below 5.7 or below 6.4. At least we're holding you there. Don't get worse. Matter of fact, now we have a lot of people in stage 1 doing drinking Lowsutea already, and so they don't even go down to stage 3. So we're now catching people early. Now, why you drink Lowsutea? The reason is Lowsutea 2 things in there. One, they have guava leaves, which delay the absorption of sugar into the gut. 2, you have bitter melon, which is increase the insulin sensitivity and taking allow the sugar because the insulin sensitivity goes up, then your sugar go back into your blood cells to use up the sugar. Excess sugar, bitter melon actually do not get them to reabsorb to the body. They will dump the sugar, the cholesterol, and salt out the urine. And that salt went out, then your blood pressure come down. So your 3 high will go down, and plus detox. Sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure will go down, plus detox. So that's a really good stuff. All you got to do is just continue to drink 6 to 8 cups of tea a day. you are achieving that result. Now, we don't just ask you to drink tea because that's not the only thing, because you got to change your lifestyle. So you got to have a low carb diet, low fat diet. You got to exercise 6,000 to 8,000 steps, 8,000 to 10,000 steps per day. You have the weight control, BMI lower from 30 to 23. We give you a free webinar every week, and then we track your blood sugar and your exercise everything in one chart, and you look at all the time, so you can continue to maintain your weight, your blood pressure, your sugar, and jog down number of step exercise, so you'll be always in track to change your lifestyle. That more important is drink Lowsutea, train your lifestyle, so you're always healthy forever. That is our objective. So let's talk about hypertension. Okay, what is hypertension? Now, typically hypertension is really a silent killer, because in the early stage of diabetes, you have no sign and symptom. And you will no symptoms, so you usually nobody do anything. They say, well, it's okay, But as time goes on, if you don't do, to work on it, so you're going to get things worse and worse and worse, and you just got to get a headache. And then a lot of time when the headache continue, then maybe at that time you go see doctor. But before that, you have no idea, especially when your blood pressure go up to over 180. More and more those common symptoms will come. But in initial state, you have 130, 140, no symptom. And that's why the silent killer. And sometimes you can go very fast. And also, you will have idea how you can able to prevent this ongoing occurrence. Eventually, you will able to get less chances to get stroke. So today we'll teach you all that today, and we will hope that you will catch it, okay? Now, you might ask, well, why there's hypertension, and why me, so to speak? Well, as we get older age, many of us will get hypertension because our blood vessels tend to become less flexible. And also, as you see, if your issue with cholesterol goes up and mixing with the sugar, and then get plaques everywhere, and then so the blood pressure goes up. All these are usually at age will start off. Now, certainly young people will have that too, but majority of people after age 40, you need to start working on it, and you have to check, is your blood pressure continue to go up? Now, certainly that's genetics. In other words, my mom is very thin. She's a beautiful lady, but she has hypertension. So in our family, I need to watch, because because of that, I will have hypertension potentially. So really, at the end of the day, genetics makes all the difference. So your parents have, or your brother has, most likely you might have as you move on. Now, early young stage, you might not have, but as you go older, you will have. Lifestyle factors. So if you are a person, I eat McDonald's every day, I eat all kind of fats every day, I don't exercise, I smoke, I drink a lot of alcohol, beer, whiskey, and I stress like hell at my work, the chances your hypertension is high. I used to work with a lot of people in China. Those guys smoke every day, they drink every day, and they got a big tummy coming up because they eat a lot. They go to party every night, dinner, business, man. But those guys, the hypertension is always there, and they don't know. And a lot of time I say, hey, you check your blood pressure? Wow, I need to do that. After they check, oh, I have hypertension. And they call me what to do and so forth. So really, when you look at people who stress, smoke, they drink a lot of beer, they don't do much exercise, they eat a lot of fatty food, the chances they have hypertension is high. You got to retreat it. You cannot ignore. If you ignore, you know what? You can die early. In other words, you don't die at 80 or 70, you die 65 and bang, because you get stroke and you die. Wow, what a suffer. Don't move into that road. Go change your lifestyle. You have to exercise. You have to control your diet. And later we'll teach you all that. Also, there's a lot of chronic conditions, such as like you might have diabetic. Commonly, people, almost a majority of people who have diabetes will have some form of hypertension, either light to serious. Okay, so check that. If you're obese, you most likely also have another one, sleep apnea, where you are fat over here, your tongue kind of cover your air pipe all the time, you need to have a sleep apnea machine, you will have hypertension. If you treat that, your blood pressure will do so much better. And I have that, and it works, definitely works. And the kidney disease also. So all that will have give you the risk of hypertension. Now, certainly there's certain medication. In other words, the contraceptive and also over-the-counter decongestion, all these products might potentially increase your blood pressure. So all these things is the cause of most likely hypertension. Now, well, really at the end of the day, how does hypertension related to your headaches then? Okay. Now, a lot of times, a lot of people don't realize when you have hypertension, your headache commonly come from basically the high blood pressure start coming up and up and up, okay? So when you have a high blood pressure, meaning that your blood pressure now moved to 180, not 130, not 140, now is 180. This is your systolic, the first blood pressure, you got now 180. And your diastolic blood pressure is now 120, not 90, 120. Then you are suddenly give you tremendous of high blood pressure, and you usually lead to headaches. Now, this is serious. Really, if you have 180, 120, you got to really take care of yourself quite fast, meaning you have to see whether you got to go doctor, is whether you really need to decide a doctor or going to emergency. Now, you have to rest and take a look. So that's something that you have to look at, okay? Now, also, most likely, the hypertension with this 180 and 120, you usually have pain with pulsation, bang, 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 to both sides of your head. And it is very intense. You didn't have physical exercise activities, but it gives you this pain, both sides of your head, pulsation. Okay, so the headache are typically with that come from high blood pressure related symptoms. Now, these is something that is serious, is meaning that it's not taken lightly, because that's mean that you are really seriously getting more and more serious issue. It's not like typical headaches, if you will. Okay, that is serious. Okay. Now, also, because of the fact that now you have so much pressure, bang, 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 120, 180 is systolic. In other words, your blood pressure, when you move up, the blood go up here is 180, and coming back down, the remaining pressure of the vessel all over the entire body is 120. So meaning that the pressure is very high. Normally it's only 80, 120 over 80. Now is 180 over 120. Imagine that your continuous pressure in the vessels are 120. So net result, you have a lot of pressure. So because of that, it causes the brain pressure extremely high. So your headache definitely is there, okay? And then the hypertension headache also signs of really a crisis issue, because if suddenly increase this high blood pressure can lead to stroke and also damage your other organ, like for example, potentially you get a heart attack. This is real. So that's why if you look at the blood pressure going this way and going up is 180 and remaining pressure 120, imagine that before your upper pressure is 120, now continuously 120. So that is the cause of extremely high blood pressure in the whole body, whereby especially the brain area, pressure is become high. Now you have a high pressure pressure in the brain, so your headache will start going to come. So that is really now can be a serious crisis, which you need to check right away. Okay, and also need to be treated right away. And net result of that, at that time, you have to lie down a bit, don't go stress, and see whether you are continue to have this headache, and you'll check your blood pressure, and your blood pressure will continue to be high at 180 over 120, then maybe you need to start talking about going to hospital immediately to see if we can lower your blood pressure, okay? Now, also another thing too, that different type of headaches. So one of the headache will be migraine headache. Now, migraine headache is very different. Can be elevated blood pressure, and usually is a throbbing pain, and occur also where it went up to your blood pressure. You check your blood pressure, it went up to 180 over 120 is or higher. So then you are really actually need to take more seriously, and is more severe, and you gotta go to hospital to lower that blood pressure. Now that's why once it's not every time you just get 180 over 120, then you go to the hospital. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if the blood pressure continue to persist in half an hour, it still continue at this high blood pressure, and you can continue a throbbing headache, you need to be getting medical attention because it might continue to go higher and higher. So that result, especially if you're an elderly person, you have a higher chance of stroke. So you got to be careful on that. So you have to basically need a better, cannot just stay at home. You have to have medical attention. Now, also there's a occipital headache. So you now felt back of the head and neck, and more common is very, very painful, and more chronic hypertension. These are hypertension that is people who already have hypertension all the time, and they tend to have the back pain on the back of the head. These are more chronic hypertension. They have that headache. Another one is tension headache. Now, tension headache is like, for example, you have a lot of work, your blood pressure going up, but the pain is more dull, maybe all persistent around the head. But more important, I think you got to remember the intensity of the pain is important. You have to identify, is it really intense, or the pulsation pain is go bang, bang, bang. And you have feel back ahead, you feel painful. Plus, you start getting blurred vision, sensitive light, you feel dizzy, confused, you start getting shortness of breath, you feel chest discomfort. You also can feel nauseated, meaning you want to throw up, weakness. When you have that intensity, you need to call ambulance because you take your blood pressure, first sign, your blood pressure is 180 over 120 is high or higher, anything higher than that. Now you have intense pain all over the head. It's not one-sided, all over. And you have blurred vision, you're sensitive light, you feel dizzy, you're confused, you're shortness of breath, you have hot chest discomfort. Now, all these signs lead to is really potential stroke, heart attack. So you gotta call ambulance. It's not like I can stay home, wait a little while. You can't really do that. On top of that, this headache are sudden or severe, and then you feel pressure in the skull, plus vision problem, confused weakness, blood pressure, already talk about 180, 120. You start getting chest pain, shortness of breath. This, you really definitely got to go for hospitalization because you cannot stay home and be treated. And by the way, this type of situation, you take Tylenol or Panadol, it won't work because this is something beyond the medication that we talk about that will give you that relief. It doesn't relieve. Plus, if your blood pressure continue high, it might continue higher, then you want to take the time to make sure able to already get to the hospital. Then net result, you don't get any. If there's a stroke, you are there. They treat it, lower your blood pressure. So you gotta have that to help you to be there instead of wait at home, and the situation can be worse. Okay, now we'll talk about all the signs and symptoms now. Let's talk about what is the typical tips to help you to manage a hypertension to related headache. Now, really at the end of the day, if you are hypertension, you got to start changing a lifestyle because changing a lifestyle will really help you to lower that chance to come back with the hypertensive crisis. First thing is diet. When you diet, you got to really take low salt diet and meaning that take away the salt. Reason is because salt increase the blood pressure. If I take a lot of salt, like for example, a lot of people like to before even eat, they go pick a lot of salt, a lot of pepper. Now that you add so much salt, your blood pressure potentially goes up. Also, you have a lot of fruits, vegetable, whole grain, lean protein, like for example, white chicken meat, not red meat. These will help you if you change your diet, help you to definitely help you lower your potential high blood pressure. The hypertension is started off as your diet. Second, you have to maintain a good weight. Now, if I'm obese, my BMI is over 35, for example, the excessive weight is going to get you to have hypertension. You have to lose weight. So you might have BMI 30 or 35, whatever. You have to lower to 23. Now, that if you can do that, I can guarantee you your blood pressure will go down because that will help you to lower your body weight. Lower your blood pressure will be coming after your weight being lower. Plus, you really can't take a lot of caffeine no more. You know what? I know a lot of executives, they like 5 cup coffee, 6 cup coffee. Caffeine tend to narrow your blood vessels surrounding your brain. So if you have that, if you get a lot of coffee, it just narrow that pressure to a brain, and your blood pressure goes up, right? So you want to make sure don't drink coffee so much, or even get rid of the coffee, get rid of the caffeine. The chances of you getting headache will be less. And so you basically, instead of 4 cups of coffee, no more coffee, drink Lowsutea. You'll be so much better. Now, don't forget, a lot of people say, oh, I don't drink coffee. But on the other hand, if you drink those this high concentrate caffeine energy drink, it'll give you the same effect of just drinking 4 cups of coffee. So take away the coffee. Drink Lowsutea because Lowsutea, guess what? Is caffeine free. And that will be a very nice tea to continue to let you get good beverage, good health, lower your blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure. That is really neat. So do it every day. Regular exercise becomes very important because you can get exercise. You don't have to really jog and run. Walk is okay. Brisk walking. You can swim if you have joint issue. If you exercise, definitely will lower your blood pressure and improve overall heart health. That is so important. Okay. Now, a lot of people are now telling me, well, I can't walk out because it's raining. And or people from Chicago say, oh, it's so cold out there, I cannot walk. Buy a Step Master. When do a Step Master, which costs you about $50 US. In Hong Kong, it's selling for maybe 300 Hong Kong, but $50 US. Just do this, watching TV, and use a barbell, do this. And then you do it 45 minutes to an hour, you got your exercise. And it is indoor and no issue of anything about, wow, it's not something bad for you, okay? So keep that in mind so you can able to do that and you can able to also help you out, okay? And then you can manage your stress. Now, manage your stress is so important because stress causes increased high blood pressure. So you have to have stress management, meaning you can have meditation, you can have exercise to have a lower blood pressure, and if you can able to relax, look at the greens, whatever things you do to do your medication will help. Your meditation could help you to lower your blood pressure. I think that is so important. Relax is so important because you don't relax enough, your blood pressure will continue to go up. It's not good for you. So that's something that you got to work on. It will be very, very good. Let's see, there's something that I need to check. Can you guys hear me good? I hope you do. Duina, can you give me a 1 if you can hear me good? I just want to double check, okay? So, all right. Okay. Because I was told that some of you are not able to hear me. Okay, Good. I'm thinking you guys okay. Now, also, if you are a smoker, you got to start quitting smoking because smoking is a major risk factor, actually major risk factor for hypertension. You're going to have all kind of health issue may occur because you're smoking. And then you got to quit smoking to lower your blood pressure and reduce the risk of any kind of related health problem. So this is something that you got to look at, and that will definitely help you to lower your blood pressure. So net result, you can think about if you can able to just change your lifestyle, exercise, better diet, stop smoking, relaxation. Those are lifestyle change. If you can do that, the chances of hypertension is going to be much lower. Then certainly you have to keep hydrate, meaning that's why Lowsutea is so important because you drink 6 to 8 cups a day, you will all be hydrated. So you can keep your blood vessel very functionable. You get your blood not to be thick because you drink enough water, the blood being diluted, the lower blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure. So net result, hydration become important. That's the reason why we design Lowsutea to drink 6 to 8 cups. A lot of old folks don't drink water, and they don't drink even enough to make 2 liters. And basically, we just made it for you to drink 2 liters of water. You are there. So that way you can able to really function well with the blood vessels. Well, diluted vessels is not so thick, the blood. Now, never do excess alcohol, meaning that not drink a lot, and you basically 1 glass of wine will be good. Now, a lot of people don't realize pain management increase blood pressure because with pain, you tend to increase blood pressure or a headache. Well, a lot of times that you have really true headache, what you can do is buy the right type of pain medication over the counter, so it would be very much under paracetamol, and then also Tylenol, that kind of stuff. So make sure get the right pain medication for you to relieve your headache, so that way it doesn't increase your blood pressure due to the pain medication. So at the end of the day, when you think about it, really change your lifestyle will be a big part of help you to prevent your hypertension. That's why Lowsutea can definitely help you to lower your blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure. And once you drink Lowsutea, you will definitely lower your blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, and bad cholesterol. So net result, the chances of you get hypertension are much lower. Now, a lot of time, the sad part is hypertension is always, you have no symptoms start up. So you don't worry. And so net result of that, you are not going to get there fast to identify what is a problem hypertension, and you are not being treated. But if you can identify early, at least you can prevent the hypertension become all the way to high hypertensive crisis, like with a blood pressure of 180 over 120. You don't want in that stage. A lot of people who have hypertension will be started off 130, 140, 140, 150. You at this stage, you know what? There's no sign symptom. And on top of that, you have no motivation because you have no sign and symptom. So net result, if you get that stage, you got to talk to the doctor and start looking at way to lower your blood pressure. Plus, maybe perhaps you need to start medication to lower your blood pressure. You don't want them, no medication, your blood pressure going to be high, get a 160, any stress, go 180, 200, and net result, you got to start blowing your brain vessels. Now, I'll give you one good example. I have a person that is 80-somewhat years old. She forgot her hypertension medication for a few days, and she ended up with a stroke. Man, in that stroke, she actually had few years of stroke with basically unable to walk, has to be fed. Man, what a quality of life issue. So you don't want to be in that stage. That's why you want to continue to make sure monitor this hypertension. Don't get into a very serious issue. Now, As time goes on, your hypertension, you're going to get frequent headaches, and it will get worse and get worse. And you better go find out why this headache. Is this a simple headache, or this is headache of entire head? So you got to look at your blood pressure. You have to monitor that, and then make sure that is not the blood pressure causing you headache. And you got to talk to your doctor, let them see what is this headaches all about. Now, the lifestyle change is important, because the lifestyle change will help you to lower your blood pressure and maybe improve your headache, because when you have not high blood pressure, the headache will not necessarily be there, which is including your diet, regular exercise, stop smoking, not a lot of alcohol, reduce stress. All that has to come up there. And plus, your diet has to be low salt or no salt, high in fruits, vegetable, whole grain, lean protein, meaning that I eat white chicken, not red meat, a lot of fish to lower my blood pressure, to make sure that I am also really in the diet control, change that lifestyle to help me continue to be healthy. And also, you have to make sure take your medication if the doctors already give you medication to control your blood pressure. Do not forget your medication, because if you forget, the chances for you to get the medication, don't eat your medication, and blood pressure can go up every day, and then you can just blow your blood pressure in the brain, and then you might get stroke. And I don't want you to be in that stage. Very important, if you have actually have already hypertension, you have medication, take blood pressure every day. Meaning you get one of these cards, press the button electrically, you know your blood pressure. Take every day, where you start off, and when you go nighttime, before you go to sleep, take it every day. If you can do it in midday, it will be good too. Very important to write it down what's the blood pressure, because now you have a trend. Last but not least, drink Lowsutea, because Lowsutea will definitely help you to lower your blood pressure, bad cholesterol, and blood sugar. Well, that's today's webinar. I hope you have a understanding what is this headache all about, and we'll give you an idea how to prevent this headache, and want you to keep yourself healthy, and you'll be good for you if you practice what we just taught. Change your lifestyle and drink Lowsutea. Hope you are healthy. Okay, this is any question. If you have no question, you can write to us. We'd love to answer your question. Write to us at Andy, A-N-D-Y, @waform.com, or you can write to us in a WhatsApp is 852-6792-8891, 852-6792-8891, or drop us an email, Andy, A-N-D-Y, @waform.com. We'd love to answer your question. A lot of people do write to me. Okay, thank you again. Have a nice weekend. I'm looking forward to see you next week. Bye-bye.